So these are the four races. The first one is Proto-Australoids. Second one is Dravidians. Third one is Indo-Aryans. The fourth one is Islamic culture. Then what is the contribution of all these four races? Proto-Australites, what they had done? They developed the art of pottery. They contributed a lot to the art of pottery. Then cultivation of fruits and vegetables. Even they developed the village culture, which was based on agriculture. Second one is Dravidians. Dravidians develop city culture. Proto-Australoids develop village culture, whereas Dravidians develop city culture. Even the Dravidian language is the mother. They have developed the city of Indus Valley. And Dravidian language is the mother of all the South Indian, most of the South Indian languages such as Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. And Dravidian social customs and traditions are being followed by Hindus in most of their rituals and rites. So this is the contribution of Dravidians. Indo-Aryans, they contributed to Vedic literature and Islamic culture. They influenced the Indian society through Indian culture through architecture, dress, food, and cuisine. See, salwar kameez and dupatta, it is worn by young girls and ladies belonging to Islamic culture. And then in India, nowadays we all are wearing salwar kameez and kurta. Correct? All these points we have learned in the last lecture. So let us continue again. Okay. So the next point is demographic composition of Indian society. So Indian society we are going to learn and how the population of Indian society, what is the demographic composition of Indian society, we are going to learn now. Okay. So let us continue. Now what is demography? Demography is study of population. And India is the 7th largest country by area in the world. And as per 2011 census, out of total world's population, 17.5 of world population lives in India, and 60% of India's population live in 6 states. Out of 100, 60% of India's population live in UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, MP, that is Madhya Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. And the rest 40% lives in other area of or other states of India. So let us understand religion-wise composition of India's population. How, as per religion, India's population has been divided. So these are the various religions practiced in India: Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, and others. So out of 100%, out of total 100%, 79.8% people practice Hinduism, 14.2% people follow Islam. 2.3 people follow Christianity. 1.7 of total population follows Sikhism. 0.7 follows Buddhism. 0.4 follows Jainism, and 0.9 follows other religions apart from these religions given on the slide. In number also I have given, but there is no need to understand it again in crores, how much people are there in crores. You can read it and you can understand that. So let us move to the next slide. We'll understand religion-wise composition of population again. The main religions are given as follows. The first is Hinduism. Majority of Indians follow Hinduism. As we have understood, almost 80% or above 80% people of India's population follow Hinduism. Bhagavad Gita is the holy book of Hindus, and they advocate four main values. In Hinduism, there are four main values given. What are those four values? Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. These are the four values given, advocated by Hinduism. Say in exam, you should remember all these four values as well as which is the holy book of Hindus. That you should remember. In exam, the question can be blank is the holy book of Hindus. Or you can also, the question can be Hinduism advocates blank main values, four main values. Or even Hinduism advocates the main four main values such as Dharma, blank, Kama, Moksha. So the answer should be Artha. So like that, questions can be asked in the exam. Now, what is the meaning of Dharma? It refers to duties which individuals must fulfill. Dharma is nothing but the duties that a Hindu must perform, must fulfill. It also includes virtues. Various kinds of virtues are there, and those virtues, a person must have all those virtues and he should fulfill various duties. See, being a son or being a daughter, there will be duties towards the parents. Then being a citizen of India, there would be duties towards the country. Being a follower of religion, there will be certain duties of that follower. So all those duties he should perform, which comes under Dharma. Artha, it refers to the desire to power over nature and man. Okay, what is this Artha? That the person has the desire for power over nature and man. जो दूसरे लोग हैं उनसे और बड़ा बनना, और बेहतर बनना. नेचर के नेचर, the nature is that even the man should be much powerful than the nature. So like that, it is the desire comes in the mind of the human beings. It is what the value given by the Hinduism, that the people has the desire to overpower the nature and the other men belonging to that society. It also refers to desire for wealth. Earth also refers the desire for wealth. Wealth मतलब संपत्ति, संपत्ति या फिर धन, ये हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इकट्ठा करते हैं ना. We earn money, we work, we earn money, we accumulate the wealth. So it is called as earth. Then Kam, it is the desire for pleasure to five senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, which is under the control of smell, under the control of mind. So the human being gets the desire to get the pleasure through these five senses. That is called as Kam. Then Moksha, it refers to the state of liberation. Now, liberation from what? Moksha is state of liberation. Moksha क्या है? It is the state of liberation. Wait a minute. Manoj, what is your question? इंडियन ट्रेडिशन का मतलब क्या है? You don't know the meaning of Indian traditions? Yes, Manoj? Then tell me in deep. What exactly you want to learn in deep? You know the basic meaning of Indian tradition, correct? Do you know the basic meaning of Indian tradition? General meaning of it? That is more than enough to understand this. What leave it? I don't want to leave it. See, if we talk only one point in detail, then when we are going to finish our syllabus, different kinds of Indian traditions we follow. Correct. It is irrelevant question. See, you should know the basic meaning of Indian traditions. Various traditions are there that we follow in India. That is more than enough. And you know what are the various traditions you follow. Okay, so I was talking about moksha. Moksha refers to a state of liberation. Liberation means freedom. So freedom from what? In Hinduism, there is a concept called birth cycle. Birth cycle means, see, once you take the birth as a human being, one day you will die. Okay. And again, to take the human birth, you have to take number of other births belonging to different sect, creatures, animals, everything. All those births you will take, and then again you will become a human. You will take the birth as a human. 84 lakhs different kinds of births the human or the soul has to take, and then again he will become the human after taking all those 84 lakhs births. So it is a cycle. You will take a birth, then you will die. Again you will take a birth, you will die. So the body is just like your dress, and the soul will leave the dress and will change another dress in the next birth. Again next, like that the soul will take the birth. So the soul is caged in it is compulsory, or after death the soul has to take the another birth. So the cycle goes on, the cycle of death and birth, it goes on. So in Hinduism, it is said that the soul should get the moksha. So the soul should get the liberation from this cycle of death and birth. ये जो डेथ एंड बर्थ की साइकिल है, उससे लिबरेशन, उससे फ्रीडम मिलना, उससे छुटकारा मिलना, that is called as moksha. I hope you understood this. So majority of Indians follow Hinduism. Bhagavad Gita is the holy book, and Hinduism advocates 4 main values: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma includes duties and virtues. Artha includes the power, the desire to power over nature and man, and even also desire for wealth. Kama means the pleasure for the desire for pleasure through 5 senses, and moksha, it refers to a state of liberation. Next is Islam. See, this religion does not believe in idol worship. Idol worship in Hinduism, there is idol worship, Murti Puja. Okay, whereas in Islam, there is no idol worship. It considers Prophet Muhammad as the greatest prophet. Okay, and the Quran is the most sacred book of Islam. Islam prescribes 5 primary duties of a Muslim. 5 duties that a Muslim must perform. Now, what are those? The first one is belief in Allah. Second one is prayers 5 times a day, that is namaz, giving alms. Alms matlab any kind of money or any kind of food they donate, that is called as alms. To poor people, to needy people, they donate money, donate food, so it is called as alms. So giving of alms, fasting for a month every year during Ramzan, that is Roza, and pilgrimage to Makkah at least once in a lifetime. जिंदगी में एक बार तो वो मक्का मदीना को जाके वो पिलग्रिमेज को जाके विजिट करके आते हैं. So these are the 5 duties of a Muslim. Quran is the holy book and Prophet Muhammad is the greatest prophet, and they follow the ideas, the values given by Prophet Muhammad, and they don't believe in idol worship. Then next is Christianity. Christianity gained roots in India, especially after Portuguese invasion in Goa in the early 16th century, and later by the British in the 17th century. So when Christianity started, when Portuguese and British, they came and settled in India, then the Christianity was spread. Bible is the holy book of Christians, and Christian religion is based on 10 commandments. Now, what are those 10 commandments? The 10 commandments are: you shall have no other God before Jesus Christ. Then you shall not take the name of your God in vain. When there is unsuccess, when you are unsuccessful, in that case, you can't take the name of your God. Then you should remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Then you should honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery, that is extramarital affair. Then you shall not steal. चोरी करना नहीं है. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. आपके नेबर के खिलाफ कुछ भी गलत आपको विटनेस या फिर कुछ भी गलत नहीं करना है. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. Covet means desire to possess. You shall not covet anything that does not that belongs to your neighbor. तो आपके जो नेबर का है वो खुद को चाहिए, ये बिल्कुल भी डिजायर आपके पास आपके मन में नहीं होना चाहिए. So all these are 10 commandments which all Christians do follow. Next is Sikhism. Now it is founded by Guru Nanak. He is the founder. After that, there are 9 gurus who follow the preaching of Guru Nanak, and especially they started preaching against the hypocrisy in Hindu religion. In Hindu religion, there were many people who tried to take the benefit of their position, and they whatever the wrong misconceptions are there, against that hypocrisy, against that misconceptions, against those false traditions and all, these people, these gurus, they started preaching. The holy book of Sikh is Guru Granth Sahib, and the religion symbols of Sikhism are 5 Ks. Now, what are those 5 Ks? Kesh, that is hair. Kanga, that is comb. Kada, that is bracelet. Kirpan, that is sword. And Kacha, that is short. क्या क्या है? केश मतलब आपके बाल. कंगा, कोम, कंगी. कड़ा, ब्रेसलेट, जो कड़ा वो पहनते हैं वो. किरपान, स्वर्ड. स्वर्ड मतलब एक छोटा सा उनके पास एक तलवार जैसा रहता है ना, that is kirpan. And kacha, you know, kacha, that is shorts. So this is all about Sikhism. Next is Buddhism. Buddhists follow the teachings of Lord Gautam Buddha. He is the founder of this Buddhism. About 85% of Buddhists, total जो Buddhist है उसमें से 85% they reside in India and they are located in Maharashtra. There are two major schools of thought in Buddhism. One is Hinayana, another one is Mahayana. Hinayana and Mahayana, these are the major schools of thought of Buddhism. The main aim of Buddhism is to attain nirvana. Now, what is this nirvana? Nirvana means to achieve enlightenment by overcoming the rounds of rebirth and experiencing bliss. The rounds of rebirth, before some time I have told you that after death you have to take another birth. So these are the rounds of rebirth. So what you are going to do, nirvana means you achieve the enlightenment. You overcome the rounds of rebirth and you achieve that bliss, the joy, the greatest joy. You get enlightened. You get the knowledge of everything and you overcome the rounds of these rebirth. ये जो cycle चालू है rebirth का, उससे आपको छुटकारा मिलता है and you enjoy the bliss. You enjoy the knowledge. You get enlightened. So this is called as nirvana. So every Buddhist, they should try to attain nirvana in their life. The Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path, there are 8 values to be practiced by a Buddhist. What are those? Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. All these 4 values are given in Buddhism, and these 8 values must be followed by all Buddhists. And according to Buddhism, the main cause of all existence, there are 4 noble truths also given in Buddhism that I will discuss in the next lecture. Today it is more than enough. Again, we will discuss Buddhism, and remaining is Judaism and Jainism. We'll discuss those in the next lecture. We will revise again all the points that I have discussed today.